Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz, and this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. Only three words to describe this week. Damn, damn, damn. Yo, man, it seems like Texans cannot catch a freaking break. We getting out of this controversy with these inmate comments, and now we running into our star quarterback getting injured and lost for the season. So yeah, in case you've been under a rock or trying to forget, let me remind you, quarterback Deshaun Watson is out for the year with an ACL non-contact injury supposedly, and so he'll be done for the season. And it's kind of questionable like how his offseason is going to go and everything. So, but for right now, all fingers are crossed that he comes back in time for next season and continue the success that he's had thus far. And so with this, a couple of things I just want to look at it. First off, is this a setback for him or is this a setup for something? Now, Watson, he came in the preseason, he did all right, but he still didn't win out the starting job, well, in particularly for game one. So they threw Savage in. Savage came in and well, our O-line wasn't what it was. So they took him out second half, fixed the O-line up a little bit, put Watson in, and, the rest was taken off from there. So, but since that game, he's just been like nothing short of spectacular. He's helped lead this team to like the number one offense, if not number one against number one passing offense in this league. And so, is this a setback against him, like against the hot streak that he was on, or is this a setup for him to do something better? Now, going back to the setback thing, if he comes back, he's hurt, this knee injury takes him out. When he comes back, is he still, going to have the same game? The same mobile anticipation. Is he going to be more cautious? Is that caution going to become, some type of fear for him or anything? Knowing that if he takes an extra run or something like that, then it might be another injury or anything like that. So you have to kind of wonder about that. Now, as far as setup, could this be a setup for something greater? He was doing great, but he still had like kind of some rookie mistakes. So maybe he's sitting back, probably watching more film, learning more things about the offense, and maybe just being comfortable with staying in the pocket or just seeing how he can use his mobility to make more plays and incorporate that more with the offense. So either way it goes, I'm hoping it's not a setback. Definitely. And I think the whole Texans nation is hoping that it's not a setback. You think about guys like RG3 when he had his knee injury, and when he tried to come back, it was just horrible for him. It ended up like ruining his career for the most part. Think about a guy like Teddy Bridgewater. Now, Bridgewater actually had suffered a knee injury in practice. I think it was ACL or MCL, one of them, but that was about a couple years ago almost. And, he hasn't been back on the field since. So you kind of wonder how this is actually going to turn out. And, it's still a couple days fresh. But, we're praying that this is, a setup for, pretty much something better. The next thing I want to touch on is how's the offense going to move? Pretty much how's the team going to move forward more than anything. Right now we don't have our star quarterback, And so with teams like the Tennessee Titans, they got they got all their guys. They're doing pretty good right now in the division. The Jacksonville Jaguars have, taking a hold of this division, surprisingly. And so are we able to catch up with them and take it back, or are we going to be shooting for the playoffs? It's kind of iffy right now as far as what we're going to do. I think just thinking about those plans, it'll all probably bet down onto what Savage does in this game on Sunday. If anything, if he comes out and he's balling out, because it is the Indianapolis Colts, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But if he's showing out, just racking up the numbers, just looking like he's in control of this offense, then we might just be like, hey, we might have a shot at these playoffs. But if he's coming out just not having a good game at all, that'll make us believe that he is an actual starter. Then it's probably going to be one of those things where like let's just take a chill and let's just play the season out. And that in how's this offense going to move pretty much. So yeah, like I mentioned, referenced a couple times, um, Watson, he was he had a certain air. I don't know why am I flipping up words? Where's my coffee? Listen, Watson had mobility to his game. You know what I'm saying? He used it to extend plays. He used it to gain extra yards. Savage has already come out this week talking about I'm nowhere near that, and that's fine. There's not a lot of mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, and the ones that are like kind of here, they're really not that mobile. I think of a guy like Aaron Rodgers. He's not. I wouldn't call him a mobile quarterback. I call him a guy that just finds a small pocket to just get 5 or 6, maybe like 3 to 4 or 5 yards extra. I wouldn't run an option with Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like I would with Deshaun Watson. So that's a whole another thing. But a lot of the guys that have arrived, I believe we got T.J. Yates to come back. Also, I forgot the guy's name. Oh, Matt McGloin. Yeah, he's back. Or but not back, but the Texans signed him this week to be the backup as well. And so these guys really don't have that. Well, they're not mobile quarterbacks at all. So let's just get that out of the way. So pretty much it seems like the offense is gonna stick to a drop back pass, and that's pretty fine. We got running backs that can run the ball. We have a multitude of them. Alfred Blue for one, even though he's not a starter, but definitely we got Foreman who can do some damage, and of course Lamar Miller. So it's not a problem with us getting running yards or getting that short yardage if we need it. The only issue is can the line protect these guys. We did trade Dwayne Brown, and surprisingly, when Dwayne Brown came back this week, I was like, "There's no way he's going to be playing this week, is it?" And apparently he was, and he did a wonderful job for us. Thank you for that. But I kind of figured like if he was going to hold out for this long, he was probably going to be traded, and it's just quite a few teams out there that just needed some help on the offensive line, Seattle being one of them. So ironically, they sent him to Seattle, and now we got Chris Clark, who's done pretty well in my opinion. So, but yeah, the quarterbacks that have arrived, I don't see them being like any type of mobile. They're just going to be straight, drop back, and so a lot of a lot of a lot of the success is just going to depend on like um, how well they know the offense or can learn the offense, especially with Savage. He's been under O'Brien's system for a while. I believe, yeah, he was the first quarterback that O'Brien drafted. So definitely with this whole team, with Watson being out, it changes a lot of things. It's a real downer. That's to say the least. And so, but I think with this, I think the offense will meet the challenge of his absence, and just be able to pull through and get a couple wins for us. Probably put us at the shot at the playoffs. And so when that comes around, we'll definitely talk about how that'll happen. So it will all start this Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. And my thing is about this game. Given the situation that's going on with our quarterback situation at the moment, this is the perfect game that you want to bring in Savage. You're going up against a team who's pretty much done for the year. They lost Andrew Luck. Actually, they lost Andrew Luck since the beginning of the season, but they finally put him on IR this week, and so pretty much this is going to be the Jacoby Brissett show. They're going to try to, get the most out of him, see what they want to do with him. If they want to release him, they want to trade him, if they want to keep him as a backup, and how, yeah, I doubt they'll keep him as like a starter or serious starter past this year, but that kind of all depends on, how Andrew Luck is healthy, but that's neither here nor there. The point I'm trying to make is this. This is the game that, Savage should definitely come in and just, put a bit of ease on the Texans fan base. He knows the offense, obviously, you know. So he's had a chance to like sit back, and not just from this season. He's had a chance. He's only started like one game his entire 3-4 years that he's been in the league. So he's had a chance to like just sit back, see all the changes that have been made, all the mistakes, all the whatever, what yada yada yada. And so another thing I want to say that I'm going to look for in Savage this Sunday is the improvements he's made since game one. And so if you remember game one, the Jacksonville defensive line just tore us apart. Part of that was, our O-line wasn't that tough, but now, our O-line's a little bit better, and they're going up against a little less weaker defensive line. And so I definitely want to see if Savage can, follow through with progressions, find a receiver other than DeAndre Hopkins. I think it's going to help him that Will Fuller has returned for this year and is doing quite amazing, if you ask me. Well, if you ask anybody, what am I talking about, man? So, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, he has two potential, like, threats on the field, right, for him that he can, like, switch off and use. So, definitely, I think if he improves on like finding different receivers, that'll definitely help us out this Sunday. Colts defense is still a weakness. Like it's for the longest time, it's been like not defense has not been a calling card for the Indianapolis Colts for like a long time. Just going back to the days of Peyton Manning, like when they finally got a defense for Peyton is when he actually went to the Super Bowl. But all those other years, man, they just kept getting dogged out. But it's still the weakness that it is, especially against the pass. It's like at the bottom of the league against the pass. So I think for us, Savage is definitely going to have to employ, finding those different receivers, as I just said a few minutes ago, and just challenge their secondary. And I think it's an easy challenge that he can arrive to. On the defensive side for us, the Colts have given up the most sacks in the league so far. And, once again, we're facing, for the second week in a row, we're facing a team with offensive line issues. And so, with that being said, this is going to be the difference. This is looking at the difference between a good team and a bad team right now. Because, Seattle, they had their offensive line issues, of course, but, they were still able to make some sort of adjustments and, be able to pull out a win against us. I do not see that with the Indianapolis Colts. Like I said, this year is going to be the Jacoby Brissett show. So I am going to expect them to probably be dialed in a little bit more with using his talents on what he can do. He's pretty much a little bit of a mobile QB as well, but do not underestimate that. He can throw the ball, definitely throw the ball, and he seems like a competitive dude as well. So, the Colts will be coming. This is a division rival, so they're going to try to put everything they can into Brissett. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at our defense. Do not think that they won't, because they will, man. They're trying to see what they have in this guy, and they're going to utilize every avenue they can to figure out what they can get for him in the offseason, or what they can get out of him in the before heading into this offseason. So definitely I will look for them to show, but I still think that O-line is not going to hold up. That Colts offensive line is not going to hold up. And despite all the injuries that we have on defense, the defensive unit played pretty great. Okay, not going to say great, but our defensive line looked like they were getting a little bit of pressure on Wilson more times than not. And, with Wilson, it's kind of hard, man. Russell Wilson's kind of hard. He is a, dual threat, scrambling type of QB. So, you think you're getting pressure on him, then he's just like, bam, going for like 10, 11 yards. So I don't see that with Jacoby Brissett. I think that the Texans will, whatever adjustments they're gonna make, they made for Wilson to contain him. I think they're probably gonna employ a little. They should employ a little bit of that for Brissett, but also I definitely see them. I definitely see them getting a lot of success on them if they just just keep the pressure on them, and not just with D linemen, but with blitzes as well. Bring in some DB blitzes if you have to, but definitely I see the Texas defensive line winning this battle against the Colts offensive line. But bottom line to win this game, man, the team just has to rally for Watson. That's all this is, man. We lost a good dude. He's been admired by athletes all over the sports world. Definitely athletes in the league right now in the NFL. So, team just has to rally for Watson, come out and just play, dope football, straight up. So, with that being said, that's all I got for you this week. My name is Brandon Simmons. This is Bullheaded. BrandonSimmons.biz. I'll holler at you. Happy birthday, Cap.